The crescendo of anticipation has erupted across Arrowhead Stadium and radiated far beyond its borders. This offseason has been sculpted by audacious moves in every facet of the game. Record-shattering contracts that redefined market dynamics, transformational draft selections brimming with promise, and battle-tested dependability when pressure surges. Tactical evaluations in the trenches have unfolded alongside rumblings of a blockbuster backfield acquisition, poised to tilt the league's power structure. Each segment of the roster has been meticulously dissected and refined. Every decision, surgical and strategic, has been aimed at honing a championship-caliber edge. Yet with so many monumental changes unfolding behind closed doors, one looming question dominates the conversation. When the pads collide and the spotlight blazes, will all these moving components fuse under the crucible of live competition? In this deep dive, we'll unravel Kansas City's intricate offseason saga, exploring the legacy-sealing extension of a cornerstone guard, spotlighting a rookie primed to ascend, celebrating the oft-overlooked special teams hero whose boot has sealed playoff triumphs, dissecting defensive line depth maneuvers, and decoding the suspense swirling around a potentially franchise-altering running back deal. Let's break down every shift, every signing, and what Brett Veach might be orchestrating next. Before we move forward, may I kindly ask for your support? If you enjoy the content, please tap that like button. It fuels us to keep delivering. Thank you. The Kansas City Chiefs have officially punched their final major ticket of the offseason by securing right guard Trey Smith to a monumental 4-year, $94 million extension. A landmark agreement that now makes him the highest-paid interior lineman in NFL history, according to sources via ESPN. Smith's deal includes a record-breaking $70 million in guarantees, eclipsing all prior benchmarks for guards in league annals. While the Chiefs announced the extension publicly, they withheld precise contract terms in their initial statement. At just 26, Smith entered Tuesday under the franchise tag umbrella, a designation applied by Kansas City on February 28th to prevent him from testing free agency. That tag came with a 1-year salary of $23.44 million, but left room for long-term negotiations up to the 4 p.m. ET deadline for converting tagged players into multi-year deals. General Manager Brett Veach and head coach Andy Reid strategically deployed the tag as a temporary holding measure while finalizing Smith's future in red and gold. Smith and Bengals wideout T. Higgins were the only two players franchised in 2025, and both have now landed major extensions. According to ESPN data, this marks the first NFL season since 2015 in which no player enters Week 1 under just the franchise tag. By locking in Smith, the Chiefs have concluded their mission-critical revamp of the offensive line, a central offseason objective aimed at safeguarding quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Within minutes of the news, Mahomes celebrated with a grinning emoji on X, formerly Twitter, publicly applauding his lineman's victory. A first-time Pro Bowler last season, Smith will anchor a fortified front five featuring LT Jalen Moore, LG Kingsley, Sumatia, C. Creed Humphrey, All-Pro, RG Trey Smith, RT Jaywan, Kaler. Further reinforcing their commitment, the Chiefs selected Ohio State's Josh Simmons in the first round, a left tackle, recovering from a patellar tendon tear. The 2025 salary cap was announced at $279.2 million, surpassing Kansas City's internal estimate of $270 million. Shortly after tagging Smith, the team traded All-Pro LG Joe Thuney to the Bears, freeing up nearly $16 million in cap room in exchange for a 2026 fourth-rounder. Smith, drafted in 2021, was among the first building blocks in Kansas City's offensive line renaissance during the Mahomes era. Despite being a second-team All-American at Tennessee, he plummeted to the 6th round, 226th overall, due to medical concerns over recurring blood clots in his lungs. But since donning the red and gold, Smith has become one of the team's most indispensable assets, a blend of tenacity and athleticism who has started 80 of 81 career games, including every postseason battle over the last 4 years. Even if setbacks arise, be it injuries along the line or lapses in the secondary, one underappreciated weapon remains unshaken: kicker Harrison Butker. Fresh off celebrating his 30th birthday, Butker has been utterly automatic under postseason pressure. Across the last 2 playoff campaigns, he's been flawless. A pristine 28 for 28 on field goals and extra points. His 58 total playoff points over that span eclipse the next closest scorer by 12, cementing his place as arguably the most dependable specialist in the game. The only other kicker in league history to rival such perfection across a similar sample is Justin Tucker, who went 25 for 25 in a 2-year playoff window. Butker's lone blemish? A 42-yard attempt during Super Bowl XI in Arizona, a game Kansas City still secured 38-35 despite treacherous turf conditions. Since that rare miss, he's been impeccable when the stakes are highest. Through 22 postseason contests, Butker has converted 36 of 40 field goals, 90%, and 67 of 70 extra points, 95.7%. After that early Super Bowl misfire, he rebounded with ice in his veins, drilling his final 5 attempts, including a clutch 27-yard game winner with 11 seconds left to clinch the championship. Heading into 2025, Butker rides a streak of 33 straight successful postseason kicks, dating back to the legendary 2021 AFC Divisional Showdown in Buffalo, the game that catalyzed a change in the NFL's overtime rules. He's nailed 40 of his last 41 playoff attempts. That Orchard Park clash saw Butker tie the game with a nerves of steel 49-yarder, setting the stage for Patrick Mahomes' heroics. His playoff resume continues to grow. A 35-yard dagger in the 2023 AFC title game to edge Buffalo, 32-29. A 29-yard equalizer to force OT in Super Bowl LV against Cincinnati, and a 45-yard game sealer to eliminate the Bengals, 23-20 in the 2022 AFC Championship. Such consistent excellence has launched Butker into the elite pantheon of playoff kickers, right alongside Adam Vinatieri. Butker's brilliance isn't confined to January and February. During the 2024 regular season, his reliability was once again vital. The Chiefs posted an unblemished 12-0 record in one-score games, a feat accomplished despite injuries to key skill players and intermittent protection breakdowns. Whenever drives stalled, Butker ensured Kansas City never left empty-handed, converting stalled momentum into points with machine-like precision. He's also been a central figure in maintaining the NFL's longest active streak of one-score victories, 17 consecutive games, stretching from late 2023 into 2024. In a league where razor-thin margins decide legacies, Butker remains Kansas City's ultimate pressure valve, their special teams insurance policy, and an irreplaceable closer. While Butker's leg remains a late-game lifesaver, the Chiefs' defensive interior remains an area of ongoing concern heading into training camp. Of particular interest, reports that surfaced July 14th suggesting the team is exploring former first-rounder Taven Bryan as a depth option. Selected 29th overall by Jacksonville in 2018, Bryan reunited with defensive line coach Joe Cullen, his former position coach, during a recent visit to Kansas City's facility. After a stint with Cleveland in 2022, where he started 16 games and logged 26 tackles, 3 sacks, and 23 pressures, Bryan spent 2 years in Indianapolis, adding 34 appearances and 13 starts to his resume. Despite his pedigree and durability, 113 games played, 46 starts, 24 tackles for loss, Bryan has yet to appear in a playoff game. Still, supporters argue that his experience and frame make him an ideal rotational piece. especially as Kansas City seeks a rugged nose tackle capable of spelling veterans like Mike Pennell or stepping in during injury emergencies. Internally, undrafted prospects Fabian Lovett Sr. and Marlon Tuipulotu have garnered attention during off-season workouts. Yet, neither has convincingly seized control of the two-gapping interior role. From an analytics standpoint, Bryan's utility is nuanced. Pro Football Focus logs only 71 A-gap snaps compared to 1,849 in the B-gap and 776 over the tackle, indicating he's better suited as a penetrator than a pure anchor. Additionally, his run defense grades have failed to eclipse 60.0 since 2019, highlighting potential limitations as a traditional run stuffer. Given these metrics, analysts recommend the Chiefs consider other free agents with more robust interior run-stopping skill sets. As early as June 30th, Heavy.com floated a short list of alternative nose tackles, reinforcing the abundance of available talent on the open market. The Kansas City Chiefs are entering a pivotal and transformational offseason, burdened by intensifying pressure following the recent Super Bowl disappointment. Falling short of a historic three-peat has magnified scrutiny around every organizational move, from free agency signings and draft day decisions to intricate contract negotiations. With each tweet, draft board shuffle, and roster recalibration under a microscope, the very trajectory of the franchise now hangs in the balance. As Kansas City confronts these challenges head-on, fans and analysts alike brace for a high-stakes offseason marked by bold decisions and dramatic shifts, changes that could reshape the identity of this storied franchise. Let's dive into some of the most significant developments, strategic moves, and contract pivots aimed at retooling the Chiefs for another Super Bowl run. But first, if you find value in this content, please take a moment to leave a like. It's a simple gesture that greatly supports our channel and helps keep content like this coming. We appreciate you. After the fall, responding to Super Bowl LVIC's defeat, following a season of unmet expectations and a crushing Super Bowl 59 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, exacerbated by an underperforming offensive line, the Chiefs are now faced with the urgent mandate to reinforce their roster. Concerns grew louder when veteran edge rusher Charles Omenihu, 28, posted the cryptic message, "Know your worth," on Twitter. This subtle declaration ignited speculation that the talented pass rusher could soon test free agency, further exposing the Chiefs' vulnerabilities at the position. Omenihu, who signed a 2-year, $16 million deal, missed a large portion of the 2024 season after suffering a torn ACL during the 2023 AFC title game. He made his return in Week 13 versus the Raiders, contributing modestly across the final 6 games. His postseason production, including 9 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and a sack, added some momentum, but advanced analytics paint a more sobering picture. According to Pro Football Focus, PFF, Omenihu earned a pass rush grade of 60.1, ranking 105th out of 211 edge defenders, and a run defense grade of 63.5, 83rd overall. Valued at approximately $7.3 million over 4 years, or $1.8 million annually per spot rack, his price tag could still be steep given the inconsistency. If he commands a similar contract elsewhere, Kansas City may be forced to fill that void through the NFL draft. Kelsey's emotional crossroads, and a strategic pivot at tight end. The Chiefs' devastating Super Bowl loss has done more than expose schematic flaws. It's reopened internal conversations about succession, particularly at the tight end position. A visibly emotional Travis Kelce recently appeared on the New Heights podcast, further underscoring the uncertainty surrounding his future as he approaches the twilight of a Hall of Fame-worthy 13-year career. With Kelce's potential retirement looming, the Chiefs face mounting pressure to protect their offensive edge. While many draft analysts expect Kansas City to address the offensive line with their number 31 pick, Jordan Plotcher of PFF proposes a different strategy. Invest in Kelce's successor now. Enter Colston Loveland. The Michigan tight end who averaged 2.67 yards per route run and earned a stellar 90.6 PFF receiving grade in 2024. That level of conviction demands several assumptions. That Mahomes sustains elite form deep into his late 30s. That the front office artfully navigates fiscal landmines, and that the ever-shifting landscape of the NFL doesn't veer into chaos over the next decade. But here's the real story beneath the surface. The true takeaway from this firestorm of debate. Chiefs' kingdom is divided, and that division is a direct reflection of a deeper truth. A rising anxiety about whether this dynasty can endure. When you win at the highest level, a different pressure takes root. Not just the expectation to win, but to repeat, to surpass, to sustain. Every coaching decision, every roster cut, every play call is now under the microscope. The coaching staff must continue innovating offensively within shrinking fiscal confines. The front office faces agonizing choices. Which stars to extend, which legends to let go. And the players themselves must bear the burden of dynasty expectations while knowing that championship windows are fleeting, fragile, and closing faster than most realize.